So I'm a little familiar with Jacob Eason, the former University of Georgia recruit who went back home to Washington to play. He's got a big arm, big arm. Loves to go downfield and attack. But one of the things that I think is important to note is, can he throw that off-speed pitch? Can he throw this touch pass? Yeah, it's dropped. But 4th and 1, to be able to drop from pressure, back your way up, throw off platform, a little jump throw, and deliver with the anticipation and the placement that this is, that's a perfect throw. And when you think of a guy with a shotgun arm like his, that he can feather it in there, that's worth keeping an eye on. Hey, let's talk about placement. You want to see some good placement? This is common in Jacob Eason's game. He'll put the ball only where the receiver can make the catch. He's working towards 2 linebackers here. Throws it back shoulder. Squeezes that in there. Good catch by the receiver. But that placement's intentional. I've seen enough of him to know that Jacob Eason can pinpoint that ball into an area, especially in the short and intermediate range, but I've seen him do it even in the vertical range, which for me is between about 28 yards and 42 yards downfield. So this is a guy who can throw it downfield and split some hairs when he needs to. Doesn't always do it as consistently in the further range of the field, in the farthest ranges of the field, but in this short area, he's pretty darn good at that. And when we think of him as a big arm thrower who's going to attack downfield, he can also pinpoint it for you in this area, and that's good stuff. I dig Jacob Eason's toughness. He'll stand in there to take a hit, or he'll wait till the last moment to be able to get rid of that ball. If he spots an open man, he'll take that shot. It's kind of a dangerous throw, and that's the thing with him, is that confidence kind of cuts both ways. Confidence can go into, kind of bleed over into recklessness here, but he gets away with this one. It's a nice throw. I've seen him stare down the barrel at times where it's a wide open throw, and he'll make those. This is the first I've seen in about 4 games right now where, it's reckless. But it's complete, and it gives you an idea of that this is someone who's going to hang in the pocket as long as he can, or stay with the play as long as he can. I've seen him throw the ball away too, so there's a pretty good mix of budding maturity here with this guy's game too. He's not just a, big, strong-armed, I can do everything type of player. There's some maturity there. Here's where Jacob Eason's maturity has a ways to go. Okay, and this is part of that thing that cuts both ways with his game, because you're going to watch an incredible throw here, but not a good decision. Edge pressure, rolls out of it, rolls to his left, sees the receiver downfield, lets it loose while he's getting hit from the 9, throws it between 2 defenders, and guess who has his hands on the ball? Yeah, the Washington receiver. He squeezes it between 2 defenders here. Ill-advised throw. Receiver nearly comes down with it. Not a good decision. Trying to force too much here. I mean, yes, you're down 5. It's the 4th quarter. But really, live another day here. Don't try too hard to make a play here. You don't want to give him this kind of field position. You'd be better off with a punt here. Or just check it down and let your receiver be able to do a little bit more. Your check down receiver, see that guy right there? That would have been a pretty good check down here, because watch what happens if he catches this ball. Yeah, he's got basically one guy here, one guy here. He might make it a 4th and manageable. And if you want to go for it then that's you and your coach's decision here. But this, as great of a throw that is, not necessary right now. Just not necessary. And that's the problem, is this guy is tough, and he will take a hit, and he will get the ball in a position for a receiver to make a play. And that's awesome. But there's a time and a place to do it, and this wasn't it. Here's a good side of that play that we saw before. 4th and 2, different play. Pressure off the edges. Look at him within about 2 steps, or really a step. He turns away. Really love the fact that he can wait that long before he makes his move. Again, he's going to throw the ball with the defender basically shooting right at him. Touch on the ball, placement, right where the receiver is going to be, tight coverage, hits the comeback. So you can see that one, Eason's got the cojones to try and make the play. I love that about him. He's got the cojones to take the hit. You know, he's just going to have to learn his situations here. This is worthwhile. Late in the game, you're down by 12, 3:40 left, 4th and 2. This is the time you do this kind of thing, not 10 minutes earlier. So where we see Eason get in trouble is when defenses say, you know what, we know you like to go out that back door. We like to see you like to try and retreat from that interior pressure. So if we can get that edge pressure really high here to contain those edges, then what ends up happening is, well, he tries to back out that door, and that door is shut, and he loses a good bit of yards. And the problem with that is that when you're inside your own 20, you need to understand you got to throw the ball away in this situation. When you see something like this and there's nobody open, or you're closed off like this, just get rid of the ball, because the area, you know, you have to make quicker decisions inside your 20 or inside your opponent's 20. This backs him up big time. Now, in the college game, when you have a big arm like Jacob Eason, you can kind of get away with that. So here's the next play. Throws about 30 yards downfield, finds his man on 3rd and 26. He's able to make this a reasonable 4th down situation late in the half. Now, let's fast forward to the 3rd quarter here. You're going to see some of this nice touch here. Nice pinpoint pass, or pretty darn close to it. Again, just another example of him being able to throw the ball with touch and just lay it up there for his receiver to go get it. This is a very talented quarterback. Maybe not as game tested as people would like to see, but he is a talented guy. Now we're going to see him here. This is an interesting play. This probably would have been a 50-yard touchdown from the point of the throw. Throws at the 45, about 5 yards deep. Got our official in the way here. Official trips over himself. And why is he heading this way? Just stand still. You're trying to cross the path, like, that's a mistake. But anyway, we're not going to get into official scouting at this point, right? What we want to see here is, one thing that I like is, here's Eason. Defense is probably about 2 steps away. He's able to slide those 2 steps. Really good job there, climbing that pocket and firing. And again, note the accuracy. I mean, if the official doesn't fall down here, I think there's a really good shot that the receiver ends up catching his ball rather than getting his knees cut out by a part-timer. That's just my other little rant here, is that officials are basically part-time people in two of the richest sports or parts of football. I mean, college football can afford this. They can afford to make these guys full-time too, I would say. But anyway, 50 yards after maneuvering the pocket. Very nice. A lot of interesting stuff here out of Mr. Jacob Eason. Man, Jacob Eason, he's making more tough guy plays in a couple of games than I see from most of the quarterbacks in this class. I mean, look at this. 3-step drop. He gets creamed throwing this ball. And it's near pinpoint accurate. The receiver has to throw it, slow down just a bit. 28 yards from the pitch point. Fantastic work. So I saw a tweet the other day that Greg Cosell's comparing Jacob Eason in some respects stylistically to Carson Palmer, and I can see that. I can also see Eason and his ability to thread the needle, and he does this a lot, and being able to take the hit while throwing the ball, hanging in there like he does. He may be what people thought they were getting when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got Jameis Winston. Eason's, got a little mobility to him, and Carson Palmer certainly did before his knee injury. But, the current player, the player that's probably most like him currently in the NFL, might be Jameis Winston, except that I think Jacob Eason is daring without being reckless as often as Winston is. As I'll be showing in a upcoming RSP boiler room or film room, it's far more than just arm strength. But if you want to see arm strength with Jacob Eason, check this out. 18 yards opposite field. Perfect placement. Oh, yeah. And there's a defensive end bearing down on him when he makes his throw. Only where the receiver's going to be able to make the catch. Look at that. One more time. Do not sleep on this guy.